Information on the Delta variant from several states and other countries indicates that in rare occasions, some vaccinated people infected with the Delta variant after vaccination may be contagious. This new science is worrisome and unfortunately warrants an update to our recommendations. This new data weighs heavily on me, this new guidance weighs heavily on me, and I just wanted to convey that this was not a decision that was taken lightly.
Sure, it really weighed heavily on Dr. Walensky. Somehow the science has changed dramatically again here in just the blink of an eye, it feels like. How'd that happen? What's really going on? What are the politics involved here? We got Ryan Girdusky with us now. He's the author of They're Not Listening. Ryan, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So this mask mandate is just garbage, right? This is silly. This is ridiculous. But the Biden administration is pretending like this is a thing that serious people will go along with. What do you see happening here?
So I looked up rolling death numbers in New York City. Remember back in March of 2020, there was 800 average deaths during the height of the epidemic. There's now 3 a week. That's the height. It's up from 2. At one point it was 4. That's what we're dealing with as far. I mean, infections have gone up, but deaths really haven't gone up. In Alexandria, Virginia, where they're saying it's uncontrollable, they have 8 infections per 100,000. Yeah, I think this is a little insane. And also, if you are that concerned with the coronavirus, if it's that much of an issue, why are you bringing in 20,000 people a day on our southern border, none of which are vaccinated or are even being tested for the coronavirus? Especially when we know there's another variant in South and Central America. It doesn't matter because they're coming from all over the world. Why would you have an open border if you cared about coronavirus? You clearly don't. This has nothing to do with the virus. If the virus is going to kill you, if it's that much of an impediment of our lives that we have to mask up again and shut down again, do everything all over again, why is the southern border wide open where 20,000 random strangers from around the world are coming in every single day, not tested, not vaccinated? Doesn't matter.
Ryan,
so if you
go ahead.
I mean, no, if you want to be like New Zealand and Australia, which literally has 0 immigration at all right now, both countries have completely locked down, and that's the deal we're going to be in as a society, I'm okay. I'll listen to you. Okay, we're all in this together. We're not going to have a hypocritical society, though, where we have to do it, but 20,000 people per day from around the world, if they can get to Mexico, can walk right in and be dumped across the entire country, but we have to wear masks inside. I refuse to believe any thinking American would actually play that game.
I mean, just to look at the numbers for a second, you have under 300 COVID deaths a day nationwide, something in the 200 range usually. They're up in the last 14 days, only about 6%, which is not some huge increase, some massive surge. They keep showing these maps that have the level of COVID community transmission in the U.S. And you can see here, they're pretending that just because there's an increase in cases as a percentage, it's as though we're in this terrible place again. But caseload, even on a national basis, even the places they're talking about, is down 75, 80% from what it was. So, I mean, what is the game plan here? I mean, what do they really think they're going to accomplish?
Do you remember back in the mid-2000s when Bush was president, they used to have every day, every morning, they would say it was a red day or an orange day or yellow day based on the threat of terrorism. And it always seemed to be around the orange level, sometimes the red level. You never got to the green level. We never got back to it. Was always to say, you're always in a panic. We always need more power from you. We always need more control from you. You're never going to go back to what you thought you should be or what you were beforehand. This reminds me of that. And this is the greatest propaganda I think ever put on the American public. I mean, Joe McCarthy had nothing on this. So, I mean, this is at this point, it's complete and total propaganda. and you have this mass contagion, especially by white women who sit there and seem to think that they're all sick continually. And for some, they have sniffles one day, and then like 3 months later, they're still sick, but they have no kneecaps anymore. This insane mindset of how this illness is going about is my brain is finally broken enough where I can't believe anything coming out of the CDC's mouth on this.
It also feels like, you mentioned the CDC, but Dr. Walensky and these other, Fauci, these people that go on TV to talk about this, they don't even have plausible answers or explanations for the decision making anymore. It all feels like we're living in some kind of a farce that's playing out in real time. Here's on CNN, Rochelle Walensky talking about, or trying to answer the question of why, if it's really just about the unvaccinated, why are all these people who are vaccinated freaking out all the time?
Predominantly, this is something coming from unvaccinated people to unvaccinated people, correct?
For the most part, absolutely.
So then you can understand the frustration in those of us who are vaccinated saying, why the hell do I have to pay the price for this?
Right. So we're asking everybody in those areas of orange and red, and here to mask up. And here is the reason why. If you're a vaccinated person, you have, and you're in one of those areas, as you said, a sea of red, a sea of COVID, you have a reasonable high chance, if nobody's wearing a mask, to interact with people who may be infectious. They may only get mild disease, but we wanted them to know that they could bring that mild disease home, they could bring it to others.
What is this babble? Are you protected from the vaccine such that you shouldn't worry or not? This seems to be a pretty straightforward question, but obviously they don't think so anymore.
And also there's this doublespeak. In one breath, they sit there and say, well, it's the problem of conservatives and the problem of Fox News, and it's the problem of, Tucker Carlson, and they're the ones telling people not to get vaccinated. They're the ones causing the scare. And then if you look at the data, the most likely people to be vaccinated are older white people. The least likely are younger minorities, least likely to get vaccinated. Where is the miscommunication? It is to sit there and to constantly kind of stream this in and pump this in. And it's become a political move. If they would have an honest conversation, say, listen, this is a virus, will constantly mutate, it will constantly change, it's in the environment, please go get vaccinated. And the people not getting vaccinated right now, they are more than likely young, non-white people who don't believe, who think they're invincible forever. And with this virus, they're more than likely are invincible from it. They're probably not going to die from it. 95% plus will not die from this virus if they're young and healthy. So I have a very difficult time with these people and these scam artists, and I don't think that American people will continue this forever. Some will, but I have a hard time believing people want to do this forever with no exit strategy.
Ryan, always good to see you, man. Thanks so much for being with us.
Bye.